For 14 years, a massive blue tower loomed over the Las Vegas Strip like a monument to failure. 67 stories tall, 70% complete, and completely abandoned. The Fontainebleau, which I'm pretty sure is how you say it, not Fontainebleau, was supposed to open in 2009 as a $2.9 billion masterpiece. Instead, construction stopped dead. The furniture was auctioned off. The building sat mothballed, while Las Vegas recovered from the worst recession in decades. It changed owners 3 times, got renamed twice, went bankrupt, became a training ground for firefighters, and stood as a constant reminder of how spectacularly Vegas's boom had turned to bust. But here's the twist. It finally opened in December 2023 at a total cost of $3.7 billion, making it the second most expensive resort ever built in Las Vegas. This is the story of the most cursed construction project in Vegas history. In May 2005, Florida developer Jeffrey Soffer announced plans to bring his iconic Fontainebleau brand to Las Vegas. The Fontainebleau Miami Beach had been a legendary destination since 1954, Frank Sinatra's stomping ground, the backdrop for James Bond films, the epitome of mid-century glamour. Soffer teamed up with casino executive Glenn Schaefer to build a Vegas version on the North Strip, a $2.6 billion, 67-story tower with 3,800 rooms. It would be architecturally stunning, designed by Carlos Zapata Studio with a distinctive curved blue glass facade. The plans were spectacular: 24 restaurants and lounges, a 60,000-square-foot spa, a 3,300-seat theater, massive convention space, and unlike most Vegas mega resorts, a relatively modest 95,000-square-foot casino. This was about luxury hospitality, not just gambling. Ground broke in February 2007 on the site of the old El Rancho Hotel, and immediately, things started going wrong. Just 5 months into construction, a 70-person team of iron workers refused to continue, citing unsafe conditions. They resumed after 3 days when safety measures were implemented. The project was racing against time, using a technique common in Vegas: build first, finalize designs later. Contractors and architects were allegedly having screaming matches over the plans. One architect later described it as building on the edge, where you race out there as far as you can get and build as much as you can with the least amount of information available, knowing full well we'll have to tear some of it down. By November 14, 2008, the 67-story tower was topped off. At 737 feet tall, it would become the tallest occupiable building in Nevada. They were on track for an October 2009 opening. And then, everything collapsed. The 2008 financial crisis hit Las Vegas like a meteor. Tourism plummeted. Gaming revenue crashed. Credit markets froze. Projects all over the Strip stalled or went bankrupt. Fontainebleau's banking group, led by Bank of America, and including Deutsche Bank, had agreed to provide approximately $4 billion in financing. But in April 2009, they cut off funding. Fontainebleau sued the banks. The lawsuit dragged on for months. A separate lending group provided $130 million to keep construction going at a reduced pace with skeleton crews. But it wasn't enough. On June 9, 2009, the Fontainebleau project filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The resort was 70% complete. An estimated $2 billion had already been invested, and now it was dead in the water. Several companies expressed interest. Penn National Gaming made a bid. Apollo Management and Wynn Resorts toured the property. But in the end, only 3 bids were submitted, and only 1 was qualified. In February 2010, billionaire corporate raider Carl Icahn won the auction with a bid of $150 million. He paid less than 10% of what had been invested in the project. He bought prime strip land, originally purchased for $34 million per acre, for just $6 million per acre. Icahn reportedly bought the property site unseen and didn't know what he'd do with it. His philosophy? Buy things when nobody wants them and hope the sun will come out again. And then, Icahn did absolutely nothing. Within months of the purchase, he auctioned off all the building's furniture: carpets, wallpaper, mattresses, bed frames, chairs, wall safes, bathroom fixtures, everything. The Plaza Hotel downtown and Buffalo Bills in Prim bought most of it. Icahn made about $5 million from the sale. He stripped the copper and anything else of value. He never spent a dollar on improvements or construction. The building just sat there. For 7 years, the Fontainebleau became Vegas's most visible symbol of the recession, a 67-story ghost tower. At night, it was a massive dark void on an otherwise brilliantly lit skyline. Locals called it an eyesore. The Clark County Fire Department used it for training exercises. A massive construction crane sat on top of the tower for years until it was finally dismantled in 2014. Itself considered an eyesore and reminder of the recession. By 2015, rusted sections along Las Vegas Boulevard looked terrible. The county asked Icahn to wrap the building cosmetically. He eventually agreed. Icahn listed the property for sale in late 2015 at $650 million. And in August 2017, he found a buyer. Steve Witkoff's investment firm in New Valley bought the Fontainebleau for $600 million. Icahn had quadrupled his money by doing literally nothing for 7 years. A $450 million profit. Steve Witkoff, a prominent New York real estate developer, had big plans. In February 2018, he partnered with Marriott International to rebrand the project as the Drew Las Vegas, named after his son Andrew. The Drew would house both a JW Marriott and an Edition hotel. Target opening, late 2020. Estimated cost to complete, $900 million to $1.6 billion depending on the vision. Witkoff heard 150 nasty rumors about the building before he bought it, that it was falling down, copper cables were stolen, plumbers poured concrete in the pipes. But he said the structure was in exceptional shape. Construction was set to resume in 2018. Penta Building Group was hired. Deutsche Bank, Goldman Sachs, and JP Morgan agreed to finance the completion. Things were finally moving forward. By early 2020, Witkoff announced he was close to finalizing a roughly $2 billion construction loan. And then, in March 2020, COVID hit Las Vegas. The Strip shut down. The economy cratered again. Construction on the Drew halted. The $2 billion loan Witkoff was so close to securing, it never came through. History was repeating itself. For the second time in a decade, the Fontainebleau sat abandoned mid-construction. Windows were missing. The building was exposed to the elements. It became a ghost tower again. By this point, the project had become a running joke. Would it ever be finished? In February 2021, something stunning happened. Jeffrey Soffer, the original developer who lost the project in bankruptcy 12 years earlier, bought it back. Soffer, through his company Fontainebleau Development and in partnership with Koch Real Estate Investments, reacquired the property. They took on Witkoff's debt to avoid foreclosure. Purchase price, estimated $350 to $650 million depending on sources. Marriott mysteriously pulled out of the deal. But Soffer didn't need them. He renamed it Fontainebleau Las Vegas, back to the original name, and announced construction would resume immediately. In November 2021, Fontainebleau held a construction commencement ceremony, the target opening, fourth quarter of 2023. This time, Soffer meant business. He secured a massive $2.2 billion construction loan in December 2022. Richardson Construction was hired as general contractor. Carlos Zapata Studio returned as exterior architect. Here's the crazy part. Soffer had to gut 1,800 hotel rooms that had been finished years earlier. The designs were outdated. 13 years had passed since some rooms were completed. They looked ancient by modern standards. The final room count was reduced from the original 3,800 to 3,600 rooms. Why? To allow for larger penthouses and luxury suites. Soffer was building for 2023, not 2009. The total development cost? $3.7 billion, making it the second most expensive resort in Las Vegas history after Resorts World. After 18 years, yes, 18 years from the initial announcement, the Fontainebleau Las Vegas finally opened to the public on December 13, 2023. Coincidentally, it was Soffer's birthday. The pre-opening event was star-studded. Cher, Tom Brady, Justin Timberlake, Paul Anka, Ivanka Trump, hundreds of celebrities and invited guests. Keith Urban performed at the main casino bar. Surprise performances followed. It was peak Vegas excess. At midnight, the doors opened to the public. The completed Fontainebleau is legitimately impressive. The design is elegant and modern. No Vegas theme park nonsense. Neutral color palettes, contemporary furnishings, subtle Miami Beach influences. Rooms range from 488 to 660 square feet, with the grandest fleur-de-lis suites reaching 10,000 square feet at $5,000 plus per night. Within 1 month of opening, 3 top executives left the company. That's not normal. When your COO, who stuck with the project through 14 years of hell, quits within a month of opening, something is very wrong. The opening was chaotic. Retail and dining areas were only half open. Many restaurants weren't ready. The pool complex wouldn't open until spring 2024, meaning the resort opened without its main pool amenity. Service was inconsistent. Long wait times at check-in, drink orders forgotten, room service disasters. The casino had issues too. They abruptly stopped matching player tier status from other casinos, angering high rollers. Gaming experts noted the slot machines and table game rules were tight, worse odds than competitors. Guest reviews have been all over the place. $3.7 billion, 18 years, 3 bankruptcies, 5 different ownership groups, 2 name changes, 14 years sitting abandoned. Was it worth all that? From a business perspective, it's too early to say. The resort needs to generate massive revenue to justify the investment. The North Strip location is less desirable than Center Strip. Competition is fierce. Wynn, Encore, Resorts World, and the Cosmopolitan are all nearby. The property has advantages. Brand new everything. Modern luxury aesthetic. Massive convention space targeting business travelers. But it also has disadvantages. Location. Lack of strip center energy. Premium pricing in a competitive market. Within weeks of opening, the Fontainebleau went viral for the wrong reason. A guest ordered nachos and received 6 sad chips with minimal toppings for $21. The photo spread across social media, becoming a meme about Vegas price gouging. It's a small thing, but it became symbolic. After $3.7 billion in 18 years, your viral moment is overpriced nachos? The Fontainebleau doesn't quite know what it wants to be. Is it ultra-luxury for high rollers? Then why are the casino game rules so tight that locals and experienced gamblers avoid it? Is it a business traveler convention hotel? Then why market it as a trendy Miami Beach-style destination? Is it trying to be the Cosmopolitan? Because the Cosmopolitan already exists and does that vibe better. The property is caught between multiple identities, trying to appeal to everyone and not quite nailing any specific audience. A 67-story tower that stood abandoned for 14 years became a symbol of Vegas's recession and somehow survived to open as a billion-dollar luxury resort. Is it cursed? Maybe. 3 executives quit within a month. The opening was messy. Reviews are mixed. And it went viral for $21 nachos. But it's also a genuinely impressive property. The rooms are beautiful. The design is elegant. The amenities are world-class. And the fact that it exists at all, after everything this project went through, is kind of miraculous. The question is whether Las Vegas and the traveling public will embrace it, whether the North Strip location works, whether convention business can sustain it. Right now, the Fontainebleau is the most expensive sequel ever made, and like most sequels, it took way too long to produce and might not live up to the original vision. But hey, at least it's finally finished. We think? Have you stayed here? Is it living up to the hype? Or is the curse still alive? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe. Hit that notification bell and I'll see you in the next video.